Hello, everybody. I hope that you're having an awesome and amazing Saturday today. As you may know, today is the day before, what's that? Halloween. Yes. So this is a special live, right? Right before we have our costumes and our Halloween parties or trick-or-treating, we have October the 30th. The eve of Halloween. So I just thank you guys so much for bearing with me and supporting me and coming back to watch this live today. As you know, I was running errands. Like I told you, I had a diaper run, so it took a little bit longer. But 1 hour later, here we are, gathered together, and we're going to have an amazing live. So I'm doing a new segment. And once again, thank you for joining the Sacred Parish Show, right? But I have an amazing new segment that I'm going to be incorporating once a month into our routine, right? And it's called Ask Gloria. Hashtag Ask Gloria. Although back when we were growing up, the hashtag was literally the pound sign. And sometimes when you pay your bills, you still hear them say, hit the pound sign or hashtag, So, yes, it was called the pound sign when we were growing up, but now it is the hashtag. So this is hashtag Ask Gloria. And this is going to give you guys an opportunity to ask Gloria whatever questions that you may have. As you see, she and Minnie Sheeta are over here conversating already. I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm guessing it has to do with storyline content, creation, and character development. Hello, husband. Hello, life and Dalton. So I was just introducing them into this new segment that is called Ask Gloria. Oh, thank you. I try to get it. I try to do the whole Halloween costume. My girls asked me today. They asked me yesterday. They were like, "Are you going to dress up?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I forgot, and I had on civilian clothes, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me put on my masquerade." So this is my vampire outfit. Yes. Thank you, Life and Daughter. She said, "Gorgeous sister." I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Coach Play, who is my husband. He is a personal fitness trainer and coach. So if you ever have questions about nutrition or your workout program, that would be the person to talk to, as well as just for daily encouragement. He encourages me. You see me on here. So I just want to put that out there as a plug. That's Coach Play with an I instead of a Y. So I do hope that you guys are having an amazing Saturday. And some of the things that I already have lined up while we wait to see any questions that you may have. You may not have any questions. But if you do find that you have a question after this segment, DM that question to me. And then I will talk to Gloria. Isn't that right, Gloria? Yeah. I'll talk to Gloria and Gloria will give me the answer. And then when we have our next segment, we'll be able to talk to you guys about it. But while we wait for those questions, I do have something prepared, right? Let's talk about Protagonist. So we were supposed to have a live probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And we were going to talk about Protagonist during that live. But it just so happened to be that our baby was not feeling well and we needed to tend to him. And I'm pretty certain that you guys understand that because you guys sent me such love and I really did appreciate it and made tears swell up in my eyes. And I am very, very grateful for all the prayers, all the positive energy that you guys sent out. He felt much better by the next day. He was just very lethargic and he had a fever. And when they're that young, you're really, really concerned because they can't talk to you and tell you what's going on. And even when they're older, I don't care if they're like 18, 19, 23, you're like, "Oh God, my baby," right? So it really did concern me that he wasn't feeling good. And it concerned Daddy. So we went ahead and canceled that live. But that live happened to be about Protagonist. Hi, that is Tyra Mattel. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions, put your questions on here. And Gloria, isn't that right, Gloria? Yes, Gloria will answer it. So any questions that you have, definitely put it on there. I will wave at you. Hello. Sometimes these waves don't go through, and I apologize for that. So we're talking about Protagonist. It was interesting to me to learn in a recent live with my writing mentor that Protagonist doesn't always have to be the good guy. Now, I've always was taught, and I'm certain that you guys have been taught the same thing, that pro is good, right? Pro this, pro that, pro that. Pro is just like that right there, that prefix. usually always means good. But nonetheless, found out that just because someone's the protagonist doesn't mean that that has to be the good guy. The villain can actually be the bad guy, because he referenced Iago as the protagonist. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. Iago in the Othello play by William Shakespeare, who anyone who's ever listened to any of my lives knows how much I love William Shakespeare. Bob Ross, because of course I reference that anyone can write. Where do you think I get that from? Bob Ross, who said that anyone can paint, right? Love Bob Ross. Love my Frida Kahlo, right? And there's some others in there, you know, Van Gogh, etc., etc. But really, 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 those are like my three main top, just inspirational people. So, William Shakespeare, Othello, favorite play. Yes, same, exactly. Iago, I always saw him as the antagonist, anti, against, right? I'm just going by what the prefix is. I'm going all the way back to the Greek roots of things. Against. So I'm like, he's working against the mission. He's the antagonist. No, he's the protagonist. Come to find out, the protagonist is really the one that the play or your storyline is more centered on. That's the one that really gets the play and the storyline, the script moving. I was like, what? This is amazing. So I found this out after, of course, like writing so many books, etc., etc. Didn't even really realize that oftentimes my villain is really the protagonist. Wow, so I wanted to throw that out there because we're constantly learning, right? And that's the amazing and beautiful thing about having a writing mentor. And I am giving a shout out to Charlie Schulman, because I have learned so much and I continue to learn so much under his tutelage, although I am actually no longer a student at Spalding University. But still learning. And we can learn from each other. I learn every time whenever I have an IG Live with someone on this platform. All the time. And I'm certain that, you know, people say they learn from me, and that's awesome and amazing, and I appreciate it. I truly do. But I want you guys to know that I am constantly learning from your storylines. I'm constantly learning from having our conversations and our chats on here on IG Live. And it's an amazing thing. You're never, ever too old to learn. Never, ever too old to learn. All right. So just a few little tips for your storyline about protagonists. A protagonist can have flaws. So let's say that you do decide to go the route of having a protagonist that's like the good guy, right, Gloria? Isn't that right, girl? All right. So you decide to go the route of having a protagonist that's the good guy. Has, you know, all these wonderful attributes, very, very moral, you know what I mean? Just like the greatest person you could ever think about. Very kind, just wants to do right by everyone. They still have some type of flaws. That's what makes them become multidimensional. Multidimensional. There we go. So you're now dealing with like a 3D or 4D character, which is who we are. Right? So you don't want to make someone that's just flat. That's like, okay, they do everything great. They're so good. They don't have any flaws. They don't have any insecurities. They're just this person that's very confident, always goes to the soup kitchen or help people. They're a volunteer. Okay. What else is it about this person? Maybe they have a dark past. Maybe they did some things. Maybe they used to be a stripper. And now they're just like, hey, I don't want to deal with that anymore. But I still have friends that are on that strip. I'm just throwing it out there because let's be honest. People have flaws. Maybe they're extremely selfish. Maybe they're like a really nice person, but they're selfish with their time. Like I'm giving you an hour and I'm going to be really, really great in that hour. But after an hour, that's it. And maybe for them, they're saying I'm shutting it off, not because I'm selfish, but in my mind, I'm an introvert, and that's about as much time as I can give you is an hour for socializing. But to everyone else around them, it's like, oh, they're so selfish with their time. So now you have a flaw. Maybe they could be someone that's insecure. Maybe it's someone who, I mean, let's be honest, I just had a baby. So at times it's like, oh, why isn't this shedding as quick? You know what I mean? Like I want it to shed quicker. So that could be an insecurity. You see someone else that's like, oh, I'm a size 2 model and I have 3 babies. And you're like, why not me? Right? So what I'm saying out of that is that maybe that person, although they may be good-natured, is someone, hello, to everyone who's joined High Barb's World, maybe that person is someone who is dealing with insecurities. I saw my mother join. I saw Aunt Edna join. Thank you so much. So maybe that's someone who's dealing with some insecurities. And I'm telling you right now, that's a flaw, right? Why is that a flaw? Because let's say that person is involved in a relationship. And because they may feel insecure, right? Whenever their significant other, oh, thank you. You said that looks so festive. Yeah, I was trying to get, pre-Halloween ready. But maybe because of their own insecurities, even whenever their spouse is saying hi or their significant other is like, hi, you look so great. I love the way you look. They feel like, you're just saying that, or, oh, you're just trying to poke fun of me. And that's not the case. They really do, oh, you look delicious. You look great. And they don't take it that way because of their insecurity, because of their flaws. So you want to create some type of flaws. No one is perfect. Everyone has something to work on. That's why you always hear me say about the importance of therapy. This right here is our play therapy as adults. I just got done during my diaper run, going to get the wipes and so forth, got done talking to someone about Barbies. I was like, look at this page right here, showing the Sacred Parent page. I was like, look at the other pages. I'm showing them other counts. I'm like, you as an adult can get involved with Barbies. And the person was like, well, I really don't know. I don't really like it. But my friend, she really does like them and she collects dolls. I'm like, hey, tell her about the doll community on Instagram, right? Just putting out that word right there. Like, you're never too old to be able to receive healing and therapy and enjoyment and fun. And I think that's part of our issue when we become adults. We lose out on having fun and being in contact with who we are to have fun. It's important. Have fun. That's what therapy does. It heals you so that you can be whole and be able to smile again and have fun. And that's part of what our dolls do for us. They unite us with our childhood and they're fun, right? And then we can pump out these awesome storylines that's more of adult content, even if you have more happy-go-lucky content, you don't have all the drama and soap opera stuff like I do. Even if you don't, you're still putting out a storyline that's dear to your heart and you're able to release it, right? So I want to put that out there. Make sure that your character has flaws, okay? You don't want this flat character. Give them flaws. Make it so that even if your character's the good guy, maybe possibly people don't even like your character. You ever thought about that? Like, this person's the good guy to you, and you're like, oh yeah, this character's doing everything great. Everything right. But you put such awesome and amazing characteristic flaws to the point where people are like, I don't like that person. I'm going to give you an example. Catherine CPI. I had a chat with her on this live, right? She amazingly made her character Darren, who has the same name as my husband, my darling husband. She was able to create a character that, although he's the protagonist and although he is, the main character, of course, is Catherine, but although he does so many amazing things, to me, I'm like, oh my God, he's amazing. He's a good character. But I read comments and people are like, I still don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't like that he did this. And it's like, wow, what? But that means like you've mastered this whole concept of giving him flaws. So although he's a police officer, he's a do-gooder, he's also done some things thinking that he was protecting his family that put his family into more harm and that created distance and separation between he and his wife. Now, if you check the storyline recently, of course, they're on good terms and they're expecting twins again. And it's just amazing. I love their storyline. I love that they're, having a happy moment because they've gone through such tragedy. So amazing storyline. Check out at Catherine CPI. I mean, realistically, go back and check out all the accounts that I've had chats with. Amazing accounts. I mean, there are so many accounts on here. If you guys, I'm going to put this out to you. If you know of a storyline that is just fire, it's just amazing, and you want that person to be on here at Sacred Parent IG Live talking about storyline, content creation, and character development, send me a DM, send me their name, let me check out their page, let me talk to them, and let's see if we can dialogue on here with that person that you know. or people, because we've actually had someone that Uncommon Dolls. That one right there is a storyline where you have two people actually managing it, although there's one main person, but then the other one comes in town, and then, you know, like they chat and they create this beautiful storyline. And yes, you're never too old to play. That's very, very true. Never too old to play. So it's very important that you are able to, you know, vibe with me. Let me know who you know who has a storyline that you would want me to check out, and I'll be able to talk to them. We can chat on this platform. Okay, so that's my challenge to you. Find someone, or if you know someone already with an amazing storyline, DM me. Isn't that right, Gloria? Because this is Gloria's day, so I gotta like reference Gloria. I don't want to like leave you out, right? Isn't that right? She's cool with it. So find that person, contact them, give me the DM, and then I'll contact them. All right? So give your protagonist flaws, as well as give your protagonist an arc. What's an arc? Literally a climax. You know, just like an arc on a mountain, right? So things are just kind of going up, and then you have like the epitome of it all, everything, all this drama, everything that just comes ahead. It's kind of like when the stuff hits the fan, right? Sounds great, love. Thank you so much, Barb's World. Hi, it's Poppy Parker. So then, you know, you have when everything just kind of like de-escalates. So you want to give them an arc. And when we look at arc, a good character undergoes some type of change over the course of the story. So wherever the arc is, wherever the drama is, it should change them. The change that takes place is called the character arc. You can also choose to create a main character who doesn't change, but the decision should be intentional. So you have a character who's going through a whole lot of things. An example would be a character that is experiencing being kicked out of their house. Right? Like maybe they didn't pay the rent and they're not able to because they just don't have the money, and they get evicted. That right there is life-changing. That will change you. That would change your personality. That would change your whole well-being and who you are, right? So because they got kicked out, it's like, do they live on the street, or do they now have to live with a family member? And is that family member going to be someone that is agreeable to them all living together? So that's going to change their mindset. That's going to change who they are and how they do things. It's going to change their whole well-being. And you would want to include that. Now, you could have a character that, although they didn't pay the rent and although they got evicted, they didn't change at all. And that, you know, they still maybe are real frivolous with money, don't really give a care, they're not trying to budget. Thank you for joining. It's not really a big deal to them, and they just don't seem to let reality sink in that your life is kind of going downward. And I'm giving the eviction one because that was one of the examples. But, you know, your life is kind of going downward, and you really need to reassess where you're at. But if you didn't change them, and if you made a decision as the storyteller to be like, well, you know what, I'm going to keep this particular character still being, you know, kind of, hi, Rose World, still being kind of, you know, naive, hey, boo, just still being that kind of person that doesn't change at all. If you make that decision, then you're actually showing the personality of that character. This is someone that no matter what they go through, reality still does not hit them. So you're intentional with that. But if you make an intention to have them change, that now they're like, you know what, I got to do things different. I got to budget my money different. I got to make sure that my family's in a good position. I'm going to grind until the sun goes down. Even when the sun goes down, I'm going to continue on my grind and my hustle to make sure that my family gets out of this. That right there shows the personality, the motivation of your character. It also shows that they change. Maybe they change from being kind of like, you know, it's not a real big deal. Now they're like, oh, gotta get it done. Gotta make a change. Gotta get a new place. Gotta make this happen. Right? So like I said, I'm using an example that is actually in this particular paper. I'm trying to remember what paper this was. And it actually does not have the www dot. You know, I like to give you guys the www dot so you can look it up yourself. But nonetheless, I think this was like masterclass where I got this information. So it's really important that you show if there's a change or not. having a bad week and saw you on live and was like, let me get inspired by my boo. Aw, thank you. I appreciate that. And I pray that your week gets better for you, okay? Sending you some positive energy so as you can continue to be strengthened. All right? So make sure that your character has flaws. Make sure you have a character arc. Now, when it comes to your antagonist, now remember I told you before, I was like, I have a desire to create an antagonist that is so relatable that people have like this inner dialogue. Hey, love, that's Daily Adventures of Ash Harbor. How are you? When they just kind of like had like this inner conversation with themselves, but they're like, I like this antagonist, but in the same hand, I shouldn't. I think that we get that kind of vibe, maybe even like with Loki, because you guys, I'm like really into adventures. And to a certain degree, they created a character with Loki to where he is so human and so relatable, and he has like these moments of morality to where we're like, maybe he's not that bad. Then he does something else and you're like, trickster, deceiver, he got us again, right? That they did so good creating that character to where you relate to him. Even when he died, you were like, why did he have to die? Why didn't they keep him in the movie? Right? That's how I felt. I was like, he should have stayed in the movie. I messed up. And of course, I think they did realize they messed up. And that's why they put him on Disney Plus. So, anyway, you want a character that has morals as the antagonist. So if you have a character that's a villain, put some type of morals in there. Right? Like, we just got done watching the documentary of Rick James the other day. And some of you guys know it's called Bitchin'. Okay? Yes, I did say that. But that is the actual name of that documentary. Now, in that documentary, there are certain characteristics and character flaws in Rick James that make people literally hate him. He was loud and gregarious, and he was vulgar, and he was who he wanted to be. And he said that. He was like, I'm tired of seeing the stereotypical kind of black entertainer. I want to be a rock star, and I want to bring some punk rock, right? He wanted to be funky, punk rock. So what was so interesting to me is that even given the factor being that he was someone that was very villainous maybe, and I say that loosely, I don't want anyone getting mad at me if you're a Rick James fan. I am a total Rick James fan. Love me some Rick James, okay? I have worn out his CD where I've gotten scratches. So I love me some Rick James. Love him on LPs. He's awesome. So don't take it offensively. If anybody's like a family member, knows a family member of Rick James, don't take it offensively. All I'm saying is that according to the documentary, there were some people who really did not like him at all. But yet, his old lady gets on there, and that was actually the one who he was married to, and she's like, even whenever we were partying, we were getting high, we were doing this, and we were having orgies, nonetheless, he was very, very particular, and he would actually just kind of stay away. That wasn't his thing. He may watch, but he really wasn't into it because he really was kind of in his own right when he was outside of the stage, when he was off the stage. He had a different personality than who he did on the stage. Now, of course, when he got deeper into the drugs and he had his heart broken by the industry, and he went into really the spiral of depression, in my opinion, then you see him get heavier into drugs and you see the personality and persona of Rick James become who he was. But honestly, who he was separate from the character that he had created as Rick James. Why do I bring that up? Because when you hear, okay, he had like some moral values. He still wanted to be home. He still had this love for his mom. He still, he wilded out, but he still had his limits on who he would wild out with. It makes you go, wow, he had morals. I can relate to that. And then out of relating to the morals that he may have or another character may have, you're able to create a villain that's not as villainous as you may have thought that he was going to be. No one, for the most part, no one is just purely evil. I mean, like, people who have really created situations of separation between us, just like between us as people. When you really do look at it, you're like, they're not a complete villain. They have this good point and this good point and this good point. But in the same hand, what makes them villainous is the toxicity that's there that can actually ruin who you are, to where you're like, okay, right? I can't go any further. Because although I see the humanness of who you are, and I can relate to who you are, and I see the kindness and the morals, it's still a factor being that there's this wickedness and evilness, and you're gonna Loki me, right? Because Loki was horrible. I mean, like Thor even said, he was like, oh, I wish I could trust you, right? And that's such a deep line. Such a deep line. Because there's people who we've met and who we know, and it's like, I wish I could trust you. I wish that this was who you are all the time, because you do have morals and you do have values. You're not purely evil. But then the things that you do are so messed up to where I have to be able to keep a boundary. And that right there is what creates the difference between the antagonist and the protagonist. That right there is what creates the difference between your good characters and your bad characters. Because there's this, I have to keep some type of boundary. Hello, my little curvy world. Thank you for joining. As you can see, I am all in my Halloween decor, right? Right before Halloween, pre-Halloween costume. So make sure that your antagonist has some type of morals to where it even kind of confuses your audience. Where your audience is like, oh, at first I really wasn't for this person. I wanted them to just kind of burn. But now that I'm watching this, now that I'm reading this, I'm feeling kind of bad for them, right? That right there lets you know you have mastered. You are at the mastery level with your villain character. You want to make your reader understand exactly the desperate need or even the twisted belief that your villain has as far as committing to their mission. That's what our goal is as the storytellers. So if you have a character that's really just, like I said, and the best one I can give, and I'm not being sponsored by Marvel in any which way. I just am a Marvel fan. We have a Marvel household. I love Marvel. But, and I've loved them since like I was really little. I used to get comic books. I read DC, but Marvel just had a different twang to it. You know what I mean? So nonetheless, you want to create a villainous character that can make the audience who's reading it really gravitate to them, to where they're like, they have to. They have to steal that money from the bank. They shouldn't do it, but if they don't, let's go right back to the first concept about being evicted out the house. If they don't, then they're going to have to be evicted out of this house, right? Or they've already been evicted. Let's say that. They've already been evicted. Now they're having to live at an uncle's house. And maybe that uncle is like a drug dealer and he has people come in and out. And it's really like questionable people, and your character who got thrown out of their home has kids, and they're really, really concerned about their kids, being in harm's way, being touched or anything of that nature. And they're like, I gotta get out of this situation. But in the same hand, they've done some unscrupulous things themselves. They're not like a real moral character, right? Like they screw people over, they're a cheater, they don't keep any of their promises. But in the same hand, we as the reader develop like a weakness for them because they have a love for their children. And they're like, I can't have my kids in a situation where the uncle is selling drugs and he's got people coming in and out and my kids are right there and I don't want them getting harmed. And then we as the reader are like, they gotta get out of that situation. And then they're like, you know what? I got all this stuff on my record. I've been in and out of prison and jail. I can't get a really decent job. Only thing I can do is rob this bank. And then we as the reader were like, that's all you can do. Right? That means that you have achieved such great mastery of creating a villainous character that people can relate to. Because they're like, if I was in that situation, although it's wrong to rob a bank, I would do it too. Because I want to keep my kids safe. And I want to get out of that house where the uncle's selling drugs with the unscrupulous characters that's coming in, and I can have them safe. And we totally have forgotten that the mother and the father, they're unscrupulous themselves. And maybe we haven't forgotten. Maybe we recognize that it's there, but we're like, we'll push it to the side. Because look how they were raised. They didn't know any better. That's one of the things that we, as storytellers, am I right, Gloria? Because this is really her segment. Like I said, you got any questions? Send it. Send it. Any questions you got for Gloria? You got questions about her storyline. You got questions about storyline content creation and development. Anything of that nature. Go ahead and send those questions, okay? And if you notice, they also got on their Halloween decor, too, on their Halloween costume. She's dressed like Naomi. Yes, yes. And she's dressed as gothic. She's just gothic today. I was going to put, like, some pretend blood, but I didn't have enough time. So, I was like, let's just do your style gothic. How about that? Okay? But you want to create characters. And like I said, I'm not trying to tread on her time. So if you got any questions, make sure to put those questions in so that Miss Gloria over here can answer it. But you want to create a villainous character to where you feel like if you were walking in their moccasins, right, you would do the same thing. So you want to, their backstory is so important. If you have a character that's thinking about robbing a bank because they've been evicted from the home and living with the uncle, and the uncle got unscrupulous people, and they really, really shady, you don't want anything happening to the kids, that particular character doesn't want anything happen to the kids. That backstory means so much, because why themselves? Why were they so horrible? And you can kind of look at that and say, okay, well, they're so horrible mainly because, right? Oh, thank you, Mother, for following me. Thank you. But they're so horrible mainly because of how they grew up. So if you can create this wonderful tapestry of woe and doom, then what you do is that you create a softness in the hearts of your audience who's like, oh my God, I feel for them. That's all they really do have left is to rob a bank. I don't think they should do it. Right? But what else are they going to do? How can they get their kids out safe? It's a 1 in a million chance to win a lottery. How are they going to do that? So make sure as you write, and this isn't something that you're just going to be able to do in like one script, or like the first daggone time that you do your storytelling with your dogs. If you can, great. But I would say continue to practice it, continue to work it. And what's really going to let you know that you've been effective at that are the comments that you get back from your audience, from us, right? When we read your storylines and we're like, oh my God, I feel so bad for them. They got kicked out the house. I wish she would have did better with her money instead of buying all that Louis Vuitton. Like, I've seen comments, right, where people are just like really involved, myself included. But they're like, I wish she hadn't bought her that Louis Vuitton. She should have been paying her bills. Now her kids don't have anywhere to go. Oh no, they gotta live with the uncle. Are you serious? Look at that guy. Who's that guy? He's strung out. He's trying to touch on her. Don't let that happen. They need to get out that house. So now we are engaged with their storyline. Only thing we want is what's going to be best for the kids. And no matter what the mother and the father have done, we're like, let's push that to the side. Push it to the side. Let's get them out the house. If they got to rob a bank, I mean, that's probably what they have to do. When you get to that point where we as the audience are commenting on your page or even DMing you, and we're like, we see that that's the only choice that they had, that lets you know that you are writing an effective character. Pay attention to the comments, because sometimes as writers and as storytellers, we don't really realize the effectiveness of our character. We're just like, oh, okay, I wrote this, but in the same hand, I don't really know if it's coming across that this character just feels like they don't have any other choice. The comments from your people will let you know. Right? And there's going to be some people who have like some messed up comments. That's okay. Oh, well. That's okay. Don't try to focus on the negative. They're like, I don't know why you created a character like this. This isn't realistic. I don't like this character. Even those comments where people are like, I don't like this character. I wish that you would just take this character out. This is a horrible storyline. You're going to do what's going to be most important to you. Hello, Fairy of Wind 2001. Thank you for joining. So you have to write characters that are realistic for you. You have to get your storyline out. Hi, Gabby Ferraria 487. I'm hoping I say that name right. But you have to write characters that are effective for your storyline. Okay? Because that one negative comment does not at all weigh as heavy or as deeply as all the other comments of positivity that are of people who are truly engaged with your storyline. So don't let any negative comment be be something that deters you from being able to put the story out there. All right? Is that cool? Are you all right with what I'm saying, Miss Gloria? Just want to make sure Gloria's cool with it. Like I said, this is her time. And I'm literally treading on it. But I wanted to make sure I was prepared just in case you guys were like, oh, I can't really think of any questions that I have right now. If you have any questions, message me. Even after this, message me the questions. And I did put out a challenge. I'm going to re-say it because I do have more people that have joined. If you know someone who has an amazing storyline that touches your heart, because as you know, we have thousands of accounts, literally thousands of Barbie accounts and doll accounts on here. So I'm not going to be able to see them all. I'm just able to really contact and get in touch with people who I have connected with on my page or people who have connected with me on my page. But if you know someone and I don't know them and you're like, hey, this storyline is so amazing, it's fire, I want you to DM me their name and I can talk to them, let them know, hey, Sacred Pair has this weekly show that she does, and she talks about storyline content creation. I love to put your name in there for her to talk to you. So that way, whenever I do contact them, it's not like, who are you? Let them know who I am. And then I can contact them and we can chat on here on IG Live and be able to learn more about the various ways that people, tell their storylines. And Daily Adventures of Ash Harbor said, not everyone is going to like every character. Exactly. And not everyone is going to like the character that you may favor. I love Tony. Tony is one of my favorite characters. One of my favorite. Not everybody likes him. And I'm going to be bringing him back too. Very, very soon. Like, hopefully next week. I already took some photos, so I'm really excited. But not everyone likes him. I like him. And he's really growing on me. He grew on me like when I first made him. I was like, when I first customized him, I was like, oh, Tony. I like him. Not everybody likes him. I'm going to tell you someone else I like. I like Penelope. Not everybody likes Penelope. I like Penelope because she just doesn't really give a dang. I don't like all the aspects of her. Like, that's not who I would want to be because she's just very much like, I don't care. It's just about me. But I like her. I like that she's centered enough in herself where it's like, I don't have to get approval. I don't have to invite my mom and dad to my wedding. It's my wedding. And she even told her friend, she was like, I want you to get this situation together because your focus needs to be on my wedding. She doesn't even have her twin sister as a bridesmaid or her maid of honor. She got her as a bridesmaid. It's like, what? Why? But I like it because it's so opposite of me. And I'm like, wow, I would never have the balls to do something like that. But she does. And I'm like, wow. So you can create a character that other people don't like that's your favorite. Right? I'm not going to say she's my favorite. Like I said, I love all of them. I may, put more attention on some, like Miss Gloria. But nonetheless, all of them serve a special part in my heart because they're all part of who I am. And some of it's more exaggerated, of course. And then some of it is part of, someone that I know. And I was able to take their personality and transform it a little bit and put it into the doll. But it's still a part of me because they're a part of me. Right? And let's see here. Daily Adventures Ash Harbor. Oh, yes, I have Wrath, and a lot of people don't like him in my stories. I'm laughing only because I'm one of those people that, like, when I see Wrath, I'm like automatically, I'm not gonna lie. And I see him show up, I'm like, what does he want? What is he about to do, right? And it's not that he's a bad character, it's just that he's so well written. He is so well written that, my earring came off. But he's so well written that literally it's like you're either going to like him or you're not. right? But then in the same hand, you're like, what's causing this kind of like dark attitude that he has, you know? So that's a well-written situation. And yes, I agree, like Penelope's very sassy. And that's who she is. And I'm not going to change her and try to make her into the character that Gloria is. I'm not going to change her and try to make her like a Martina. Because Martina, who happens to be Gloria's daughter, is more of like a settled character and just very like calm and want to just keep peace and play everything out. And then you have Penelope, who just doesn't give a dang. And I'm being very gentle when I say dang. She don't give a dang. Okay? She's going to do what she wants. She's going to be who she is. And that's the bottom line. And I like that about her. So I thank everyone for joining Daily Adventures of Ash. Harbor said he's a hard guy. He is dark. Yes. Yes. But then it's like, why? And so I like how bits and pieces of who he is coming out even more and more. Hi, House of Echelon. Thank you for joining. Now, we want to make our antagonist also powerful, okay? You want your main characters to succeed, but you don't want it to be an easy success, all right? You got to have all those different hills and valleys and all the stuff that goes on to where it's just like dips and highs and lows, okay? Your villain should not only be a match for your hero, so you don't want to have someone that's like villainous and they're really, really weak. It doesn't have to be just like in strength, but just like as far as you don't want to have like this flat character. You want your villain to have flaws. You want your villains to have morals. You want your villain to be bulky. You want a bulky character. Okay? So then that way, whenever you match them up with your protagonist, right? With your good guy character, they actually can have a good battle. Okay? You want them to have a good battle, especially if you're dealing with drama. And you can think of like boxing, right? You got like your lightweights and so forth and featherweights. You're not going to see someone that's a heavyweight boxer fighting a featherweight. You're not going to see that. You shouldn't see that. You shouldn't, because they don't match. 9 times out of 10, that heavyweight boxer is going to knock the crap out of that featherweight. Bottom line. And not unless, of course, the featherweight happens to have some type of like strategies and tactics, and they're like, hey, I'm going to go this way, I'm going to go under, I'm going to hit you this way. But otherwise, just in a straight up boxing match, it's not going to happen. Even in wrestling, it's not going to happen. You got to match up in body weight. It's the same thing that goes for storyline, content creation. You want to make sure that when you are developing your characters, be it the good guy and the bad guy, or the guy who just has and I'm just being very general when I say good guy, bad guy, okay? But when you have these characters, you want them to match up in the intensity of who they are. Bulk them up. Bulk them up. That's one of the things that I'm finding and that I'm loving about Mama Catherine. Yes. Hello, Queen. Hello to you too. Thanks for having us, sis. Fun live. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I try to make it fun. You know, like I said, I think we lose out on fun when we become adults and get so into like priorities and being able to have this done and responsibilities and dealing with other people and stress and just time and just everything. You know what I mean? Like, how do I do this all? And then you just kind of lose out on having fun. I love the Barbies because it reconnects us to fun. I love the children ask you questions to make you have fun. Like I said, my daughters, they came to me and they were like, are you going to dress up for your next live? And I was like, I guess I could. I guess I will. Right? Because it's like the eve of Halloween. So, woo, here you go. Mama Catherine, going back to our storyline content creation conversation. And I'm sorry to take over like this. She's like, what the hell? I'm sorry. She's like, what? What happened? I'm supposed to be getting questions. If you do have any questions, please put it on here and she'll be able to answer it. Okay? She'll, talk to me and I'll be able to, transmit the conversation. She'll whisper it in my ear. So anything that you want to ask her, let me know. And, put it on here and then she'll answer it. Nonetheless, right? You want to create a character, or characters that can really have a good, strong battle. All right. Mama Catherine, she's a strong character, right? Very multidimensional. I find out more. I've written out about her in my journal. Yes, in the At Sacred Para journal. At Sacred Para presents character journal. There's the storyline content creation journal, and there's also the character origin journal, right? Which kind of like asks you all these questions to really get deeply involved with the character that you're creating. All those books, there's like 3 of them. There's a planner as well. All of those are available on Amazon. You can also buy it from me personally. So I'm just putting it out there because this is all to help us as we develop our characters. And Mama Catherine happens to be one of those characters that I have written about in my journal and felt like I had her pretty much pinned down. Oh no. Like those last photos where she's with the guy, I can't even think of the guy's name right now. And that dude is not her husband. In fact, he's married. And it's like, what? I had no clue that I was even going to do those photos. Thank you, Life and Doldom, because we were talking about Mirror Mirror. We were talking about Mirror Mirror happened to be like a Halloween challenge that the Dalai Lama has. And tomorrow, I think, is like the last day if you're going to get involved with the October challenge. She always has such amazing challenges, amazing photos at the Dalai Lama. I'm putting out a word for you. But nonetheless, we were talking about that particular challenge that she had. That day, it was Mirror Mirror. Literally, guys, I had in my mind what the photo was going to be. I knew. I was like, this is how I'm going to do the photo. I'm going to have one doll on this side and another doll that looks like it on this side. And I'm going to have that doll as a reflection, and they're both doing something opposite. And quite honestly, Barbs for Us did a photo for Mirror Mirror that I showed my husband. I was like, this was what I was going to do. And I'm going to be having a live with Barbs for Us, so I don't have a problem saying the name because we're going to be having a live very, very soon. So if you have time, check out her page as well, because she has some amazing photos and amazing dialogue, and she has some storylines as well. So I happen to be like, oh, that was the photo I was going to do. Now, going back to this conversation that I had with Life and Doldom on here on IG Live, which you can always go back and check. If you don't have time, save it. Right? Save it with that little bookmark, that little tab. And then you can go ahead and watch it anytime whenever you have the moment. But it was an amazing conversation. And we had talked about Mirror Mirror and the challenge that was there. She was like, what about Mama Catherine? Because I feel like we don't really know a whole lot about her. Maybe you can have her talk about her past and who she was and, you know, whatever skeletons that she has going on. And then I saw, like, in the comments, people talking about, yeah, Mama Catherine. And I was like, I need to do that. You know, if you have questions about Mama Catherine, then that's what I need to do. So right then, after the live, get everything set up, you know what I mean? Put up my little faux diorama. And I'm like, let's do this. Let's have Mama Catherine kind of have this soliloquy where she's like exposing some things from her past. And what I learned from that, from the comments, the feedback that people gave, was I was able to achieve a human character with Mama Catherine. Because people were like, oh wow, she's gone through so much. I didn't know that's what she went through. So now it wasn't just that she was this mother and mother-in-law from hell, as much as it was she went through hell, and to a certain degree doesn't know how to transform herself to get out of that. She can, she should, but yet her moral compass is totally thrown off because of the things that she went through, right? And there's more to her story, and as I write her and as I, you know, get to know the actual doll and the character that's in that doll, I learned more and more about who she is, because I didn't know that was buried deep inside of that storyline of that character. But when she put it out there, and like I said, the comments that was on there was like, yeah, let's hear more about Mama Catherine. It was like, what? Who are you? What do you have to say to a mirror? And it just flowed. It flowed from the spirit of who that character is. So being able to create this character that has such grit, and that's really what I feel about Mama Catherine. You know, she's beautiful. She is. She's a very beautiful, and thank you, Mattel, for creating the Ella Fitzgerald doll. Although Ella Fitzgerald was a plus size woman. I would love to see some plus size. I love the curvy. Don't get me wrong, okay? So I'm not trying to rant. But Ella was literally a plus size woman, and I believe that she was proud of being plus size. Can we get a little bit of voluptuous going on with our dolls as well, so we can actually put out who they were? Even with Grandma Nora, who is actually the Maya Angelou Barbie. I mean, I was like, she's a little bit more plus size than that, guys. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So that's just me. Okay? That's just me. I love people of all sizes, and I just think that we need to embrace that and not stigmatize people who are of various weights. That's just me. Ella was of a plus size. That's who she was. Could you create those tones and notes from being like a skinny mini? I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but that tone and notes came from this deep bellow of baritone-ness, right? From the belly of who she was. So that's just me. That's just me. Like I said, that's a whole separate thing. But going back to this Ella Fitzgerald doll, very beautiful doll. Very beautiful doll. And with Mama Catherine, she's a very beautiful character on the outside, and yet she has such a stanky attitude. And she can be rude and mean anytime that she pleases. She can be controlling. She has given up her daughter, and she did it in the most deceitful way, where even her other daughters, Brenda and Gloria, didn't even know. And it's like, she doesn't really see a problem with that. It's a huge problem. It's like, dude, how do you not see that as a problem? Right? But she's a hefty character. The weight of who she is power. And you need a powerful character, because if she was weak, and if I just had her as just being very one-dimensional, she could not battle against Gloria. It has to be a pressure. It has to. It needs to be a pressure that's there. You need the obstacles. Think of it like running track, where you have hurdles, right? And people who run track and they have hurdles, they're running. They have to jump over the hurdle, and they have to run, jump over this hurdle. It is not an easy run. Exactly. Thank you so much, Barb's World. That's a complex character, sis. I like that substance. Exactly. You want to have the complexity. I like that you said that. You want to have the complexity of your character. That's what builds up the bulk of it, which then makes the internal battle in your storyline even greater. So when people see Gloria, when they see her husband Raymond, they know the depthness, right, of the internal battle that's there. You take Raymond and you take Mama Catherine, and Raymond's like, I want to respect you because you're my mother-in-law, and I really don't have any issue against you. And in the same hand, it's like, I'm, because he's not an American, he's an American citizen, but he's not from America, right? And so he's like, I don't want to create any issue with you where you would end up, trying to have me deported or anything like that. So I want things to be on good terms. I truly do love you. You're my wife's mother. And yet she doesn't want him in the picture at all. She wants things the ways that she wants it to be. And, you see this battle that's there. And the thing is that although Raymond is my calmer character, there's still this internal power that's there. It's like, if you push me, you're going to make something else pop out. And we saw, his sister and Mama Catherine kind of go head to head as well, right? And we've seen Gloria kind of be like, button heads with her. It's not an easy ordeal. And now we're seeing Brenda and Gloria kind of butt heads. So you want to be able to create characters that have grit, that are bulky. Do not create flat characters, because we're not flat. We are people who are of, what's the word I'm looking for? We contradict ourselves. We'll say, oh, wow, I will never, ever do that. I would never, ever, ever smoke. And then you get older and you go through all kinds of stress, and then you're like, I think I'm going to pick this up. Or you may, just seriously, or you may, be at a college party. You're like, everybody else is smoking around me. Let me try. What is that? I'm just saying, the things that you say that you would never, ever do sometimes ends up becoming what you are doing. And then you feel like a contradiction. And that is almost what it means to be human. To have that contradiction that lives in us. Right? I'm thinking of a great author right now who is like, that in which I want not to do, I do. Right? Hi, Danny, Poppy, and Barbie. Hello. So that in which I don't want to do, I do. That was written by a great author. So I'm just saying, his name is Paul. There's going to be times and you're like, I don't want to cuss. And I'm just putting it out there because I know this personally. I don't want to cuss. I want to be someone that's just like, oh, geez Louise. But if you catch me on a really good day or even a really bad day, it may be some words that come out that's not all right. It's not going to be on a positive energy flow. It's like, why? I can't believe you said that. Right? Like, I make a choice to keep my page PG-13. I've talked to you guys about that because my kids, in particular with my girls, they look at my page. My kids, period. So I want it to be something that if they look at it, I don't feel like, oh, I got to say, skip over that, or fast forward. Let me push. I said fast forward. Let me, shuffle that ahead. I want it to be something that even if they read it, it's okay. That's a personal choice. Not everybody else has to do that. You do what you're supposed to do with your page. Because I enjoy it. So if you've got some rated R stuff, I'm an adult. I can handle it. All right? But with them, I'm like, I want things to be, appropriate for who they are at their age. So that's why I choose to do my page like I do. Every which way you do your page, I say keep it going, boo. Like I said, I'm here for it. I enjoy it. I'm going to read it. And I'm going to love it, all right? So make sure you do make bulky characters because your bulky characters are going to bring the powerhouse. They're going to keep that storyline going. And that's what you want, all right? This forces your protagonist to collect the skills, items, and allies that they'll need to defeat your antagonist, which creates further opportunity for character development. So right now, in my own storyline with Gloria, if you'll notice, and I'm using my storyline as an example, you're a bad girl. Yeah, sometimes I am. But if you'll notice with my storyline with Gloria, the last time she just had a conversation with Naomi, right? So they're talking and all this other stuff. But if you go a little bit before then, she's talking to Brenda at the spa, which was hosted by @BarbieBlast. And it was an amazing challenge, an amazing time, amazing event. And nonetheless, they're having this conversation. And Brenda done did a freaking 180. She done went from being like, oh, I love Courtney, to being like, those are strangers. I don't know about her and Curtis. And Gloria's like, I don't understand. I thought you were on my side with this. I thought you were cool with understanding that this is our sister and he's our dad. And that mama lied. I thought you were cool with this. But now I turn around and you doing all this other stuff. And Gloria's kind of in a situation where she's like, I got to kind of get my focus back. My focus is, I'm going to have to go back into being a therapist because that's what she is. I'm going to have to go back into counseling sessions so that we can get this money and get out of my mama's house. That's where she's at right now. She's like, I got to get things going. Now, the reason why I chose for her to be a therapist, not only really because of my own, my own personal, choices that I've made with my, documentations and certifications and degree and so forth. So that was a part of it. All right. But the main reason why is because even therapists go through things. I think sometimes we see counselors and we see coaches and we see psychiatrists and psychologists and we say they're perfect. They don't go through anything. They got everything together. They're whole. They're well. They're doing everything just like they tell me to do. Not true. They go through more stuff, more poopy stuff than what they really do admit to. Now, you will get some counselors that are like, hey, you know what, this was a rough week for me. I've had some counselors that were that honest with me, just like, you know, I'm going through a really, you know, messed up week. This has been a messed up time for me. I even had one that was like, you know what, I have a teenager at home and I refuse to work with teenagers because of all the mess I'm going through with my teenager. And I don't want to project that to other clients, so I can't even work with that age range. Like, he kept it real. He was like, I cannot do that. And I think that's important. That's so important, to be honest with yourself on where you at, who you can work with, how you can work with them. But I chose for her, Miss Gloria right here, to be a therapist because it was a sweet contradiction that she can be able to speak to people and advise them on what they need to do so that they can have a healthy lifestyle, and yet in the same hand, she's going through her own personal hell. Now, I'm glad that she is getting back into counseling because I feel that there was, you know, that the storyline was just kind of you know, focusing on her own personal life and not enough on her profession. So I'm thankful that now the storyline is transitioning and we're starting to see her in her profession again. And she is mobile because she doesn't have an office. You know, she was using the garage as her workshop, as well as, you know, what am I trying to say right here? Slash, there we go. So her workshop for her reefs / office for her clients. And we are going to go back to reefs. Am I right, Gloria? Are you going to go back to the reefs? Okay. So we're going to go back to the reefs. What? Yeah, we can't really say when. Hoping to get some Thanksgiving reefs, am I right? So hopefully get some Thanksgiving reefs, you know. Some Thanksgiving reefs cracking, that would be great. I have seen some fall reefs out there and I was like, wow, those are amazing. So I love the reefs that you guys are doing. I am here for it, and I'm looking forward to being able to assist Miss Gloria with her reefs for Valentine's, but for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But yes, I'm glad that the storyline has shifted and now we're able to see her going back into her actual profession. But for those of us who have ever received therapy, who are in therapy, do know, even with our own play therapy, that therapists are just like us. They're flawed. They have a human life. They have things that go on as well. They're not perfect. They have things that they have to manage. They have to take the same principles and theories and theologies and concepts and be able to apply that to their own life as well. A lot of times therapists have their own therapists, and they should. Rightly so. Okay? So that's just something I want to throw out there. All right. So right now in Gloria's storyline, she's having to figure out who can she really trust. She thought that she could go to her sister Brenda, and that Brenda would be that person that, you know, she could have that relationship with and really confide in and have this, just like this warm residence with, as far as Curtis and Courtney. And now she has discovered that Brenda is not that person. Brenda, you know, is really siding with Mama Catherine, and she's like, hey, I'm not going to trust a stranger over my own mama. You can, but I'm not. And even though things aren't really, you know, lining up, the story does not line up. Mama Catherine's story does not line up. She's still like, I'd rather accept what Mama Catherine has said. And isn't that true in our own lives? People that we know who have done something wrong and have been deceitful. And regardless if they knew that it was right or wrong to be deceitful, they were still deceitful. And then certain people that you were kind of leaning on and hoping would see what you see, go back and they're like, I don't really think it's that bad. I think that you're taking it wrong. I think that you need to be cool with it. I think that you just, you're doing too much yourself. That hurts so much. Especially whenever you're like, I thought that we were together. I thought we were in this together. It's not a matter of taking sides. It's just, I need you. I need your support. I need to know that I'm not the only one who sees that this is wrong. Right? And that's really what Gloria said. She's like, this is wrong. Mom did Courtney wrong. Mom did Courtney Curtis wrong. Our dad. How do you not see that? I thought you saw the way I do. And so now what you see is that there's these sides that's being taken, where now it's like Gloria's going to have to seek someone who's going to be able to take her side, an alliance. And now we see that Brenda has really shifted over, right? Because now she's like cool with Mama Catherine and she's on her side. So you want to create bulky characters that allow you to be able to see the different sides, right? To see the division of right and wrong. Okay? So that's one of the things that you want to look for. So this will create further opportunity for character development. So your character is going to constantly be developed. There's no way possible that you're going to be able to create a character and be like, I'm done. That's it. I wrote it all down into my Sacred Pair journal and it's done. I'm going to take these pictures and this character is forever going to be this way. No, because story arcs take place and that character should transform. If they don't transform, then you have an intention for why they didn't. And that in itself creates a new storyline, right? You want to also make your villain and your protagonist and antagonist complementary. What things do they have in common? Yeah, you didn't think about that, huh? What things do they have in common? And that's really, really vital. There can even be something that's a vice in your in your protagonist. So maybe possibly your protagonist happens to be someone that is kind of greedy. Like, although they're really a great person, they're also kind of greedy. And they will kind of, like, if they get a certain amount of money, and instead of them, being charitable and being kind and, splitting up the money that they got with their significant other, maybe they're the kind of person that will give them, $10 and they keep the 90. And so we also see that same thing with the villainous character. They're the kind of person to give $3 and you keep the 97, right? So you're like, wow, they both compliment. Or maybe it could be something good. Maybe they both enjoy volunteering. Nobody say, hey. Sometimes someone that has more of a villainous character may like volunteering. They may be kind of kind and charitable. So you want to be able to include that. What ways are they similar? Secondary characters serve the vital functions of assisting the protagonist with alternate skill sets, giving them a sounding board or emotional support, getting themselves into trouble so the protagonist can help them, and even providing comic relief. Comedy is so important. I do find that with my Heidi and Kai character, hi, how are you? Thank you for joining. I do find that they give more comedy, and I love it. And that's actually something that I have spoken about that I want to incorporate more of in my storyline, because I do have a lot of drama in my storyline. It's a soap opera, basically. It's a doll opera. And I love that. I love that it is. But in the same hand, comedy resonates so much, right? I'm a person who I love Lucy. She was an artisan at being comical. Carol Burnett, an artisan at being comical. I mean, the list can go on for me of women who have been comical. I mean, and there's men who I enjoy who are just full of comedy. We have Dave Chappelle DVDs in our house because we love Dave Chappelle. And, it's like his old stuff, the Dave Chappelle show. But I mean, we watch stand-up comedy in our house. Comedy is something that we welcome. There's a lot of different shows that when I met my husband and we would sit there and talk, and we're like, have you seen this movie? Have you watched Half Baked? Have you watched this? Have you watched Dudes, Where's My Car? Have you watched it? And it was like, yeah, I watched it. Have you watched Friday? Have you watched it? And it was like, dude, we're meant to be. Because we both have a love for comedy. it's important to laugh. So that's something that I have on my, checklist as far as like, setting goals. I'm like, add more comedy. Add more comedy into the Sacred Para community. And I want it to be more than just Heidi and Kai. And I'm really exploring that with the characters that I have right now that are pre-existing, as well as the characters that are to come into my storyline. So make sure that you do have some comedy, because it allows your audience to laugh and not feel so stressed and tense, and allows them to be able to relate even more with the characters that you create. You want to also make your characters oppositional. Okay, so some of the best sidekicks in literature are oppositional and will even undermine the protagonist. Think of Dr. Watson, who chastises Sherlock Holmes for his drug use. Giving secondary characters opposing points of view allows you to explore your subjects, your settings, your moral gray areas from a wider variety of perspectives, which sustains complexity and keeps the reader interested. An example with this, going all the way back to the conversation that I just had with you, as far as the movie, which I'm going to say the name, so get prepared, bitching about Rick James. There was someone who was in his band who was just very, very upset with him, like to this day, upset with him. And he was upset with him because of the choices that he made. And so in this case, he would be like Dr. Watson, who's like, I don't like your drug use, Sherlock Holmes. And in this particular case, he was like, I don't like your drug use, Rick James. I don't like that you were so hard on your son if you haven't been in his life for that many years. You need to shape up here. You need to do things different here. And he said it. He was just really, really honest. And what I heard out of it, more than just I'm angry at him, it was hurt. It was, I love this man so much. He was like a brother to me. And the reality is, he messed up. And I kept trying to tell him to do right. And maybe he would be here to this day. That's for real, what I heard out of what his band member was saying. So you want to be able to create characters, right, that have enough bulk, enough steam, enough bravado to where your audience can relate to them, right? You want to have some comedy, and maybe it's like a different character that you throw into the mix. Who is the comical? Because I really don't see Gloria as being someone who I can just like all of a sudden smack some comedy on. I'm sorry, I had to go back and get my paper. But that's not where she's at. I probably have to bring in another character to be able to do that with, right? But being able to have my characters that have such complexity, it will enable my other characters to actually step up. All right? Will make them have to step up. And that's what opposition gives. So someone who's like a sidekick who's like, I don't like what you're doing right here. It creates bulkiness. It creates complexity. And it makes the characters have to bulk up. So, without further ado, I know that we are now at 5:13. I've been time watching, trying to keep up with the time. I do want to do a small unboxing. Yes, a small unboxing. If you have any questions or anything of that nature, you are more than welcome to DM me. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. If you know someone who has a storyline, because I'm only able to reach out to so many people, right? And there's thousands of accounts on here. Doll storylines. If you know someone who has an amazing storyline, let them know that Sacred Para is ready to talk to them on IG Live, and give me their name, and then I can communicate with them as well and see if they would love to chat on here, because I do have the weekly IG Live show in which we talk about storyline, content creation, and character development, and we're learning from each other and we're grooving with each other. So I just want to put it out there. Definitely check out our past conversations. I just had one with Barb's for Us. Barb's World. So I mixed in the names. Apologize. Barb's World, and that's Barb's, what is that? Oh, what is that? _ world. I was like, what is that? I sometimes have a problem with the underscore and the hyphen. So Barb's with a Z _ world. So make sure that you check out her page as well. We just had that conversation last week. It was amazing. I am still excited about it. So definitely go back. That's why we say go back to other lives. Save it, save it, save it. So you can always go back to it. Because there's so much information that is shared. And I want you guys to get it. Okay? So Gloria, is that okay? Thank you for joining. I know this was supposed to be about you. I know. She said, what can you do? All right, I got you. All right. So she's cool with it. I am going to do an unboxing because I did plan on doing that as well. And this happens to be a doll that my husband got for me. And I was wanting this doll for quite some time. And if you've been following my storyline, you know that Lawrence is having his mother and his sister come in town. I didn't have no mother for him. And the mother I had for him, I just felt like, she really just didn't fit the script for how he grew up. And I will say, one of the few times, I don't mean in a bad way, but this is like one of the few times I'm really, really proud of Amazon because they bubble wrapped her. And this is Billie Jean King. Alright? Because she's gonna make the perfect mother. She is. In fact, she even has like dark hair, and Lawrence has dark hair. So I'm doing the unboxing today, right now. Yes, I am. And one part of me is like, oh, don't unbox her, because I grew up, like don't unbox. Like if it's like Halloween toys, you just don't. I mean, not Halloween. Halloween's tomorrow. But if it's holiday toys, you don't unbox. But she's getting unboxed. Okay. Let's look at her. I'm so excited, guys. Alright, Billie Jean King. Oh, yes! This is from the Inspiring Women series. I just found out, right, who was going to be on the Inspiring Women series. Because I looked her up. Snap! I forgot her name. I should have wrote her down. Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells. Ida B. Wells is going to be part of the Inspiring Women. I was like, oh my God, they threw it in. And I do hope that they make her voluptuous because she was a voluptuous woman. There's nothing wrong with that. That's who she was. Please make her voluptuous. She is so amazing. Look up Ida B. Wells if you've never heard of the name. She's just truly a pioneer and trendsetter, right? Look her up. I'm so excited. Plus, they're going to have Jane Goodall. I'm excited about that. And they're going to have Tina Turner. Yes! I'm doing my river dance right now. The Mary. Big wheels keep on turning. Yes! Mom, Mary, keep on burning. Yes. I have the wrong words. Rolling. Yes. We're rolling. Yes. Rolling down the river. Yes! So I'm excited. They got some Tina Turner. They got some Jane Goodall. They got Ida B. Wells. Come on now. Come on now. So I was excited. But I am excited about Billie Jean King today. This is going to be Lauren's mother. She's a tennis icon and equality champion. 1943 to present. Champions keep playing until they get it right. That is the quote by Billie Jean King. Barbie recognizes, and I'm just reading this from the back of the box. Barbie recognizes all female role models. The Inspiring Women series pays tribute to incredible heroines of their time. Courageous women who took risks, changed rules, and paved the way for generations of girls to dream bigger than ever before. Born in Long Beach, California, Billie Jean King grew up playing tennis and sharpening her skills in local public parks. In 1961, she won her first major championship title, followed by a series of spectacular victories throughout her legendary career. Off the court, Billie Jean King tirelessly championed equality in sports. In 1973, during a globally televised match held as the Battle of the Sexes, millions of viewers watched as Billie Jean King defeated a formidable male rival and proved a woman's place was hers to decide. Billie Jean's game-changing strides for equality and social justice earned her the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Girls need more role models like Billie Jean King, because imagining they could be anything is just the beginning. Actually seeing that they can makes all the difference. And this is of course behind the box. That's the actual photo of Billie Jean King. I'm excited. Sorry. Alright, so here goes the box. And in the back is the certificate of authenticity. Is this not amazing? So she has a tennis racket. And of course, if you notice, my girls are dressed up for Halloween as well. And like I said, she's dressed up as Naomi. And so now we got the tennis racket again with the ball. And the old school tennis outfit. Look at this. It's not attached. What? So many of our outfits come attached. I am so pumped to know that this is not attached. Like, what? I did not bring my scissors. And you know I like to have my scissors. I do. She's got these blue shoes. What? We don't get blue shoes that often. It's like, thank you. Her hair is gelled though. I'm going to be very honest with you. This right here. Yeah, right here. This is going to have to be probably hot water boiled, because I am not a fan of the gel. Not at all. I know you got to keep it, in one spot, but no. Okay, so I'm going to be taking that off. She's got her glasses. She is just like a true mama character. I'm so excited. Thank you, love. I am excited to be able to incorporate her into the storyline. Like I said, I've been needing her for quite some time. I didn't even know that she was going to be his mom. But then, of course, when she came to our doorstep, I was like, oh, yay, he's got a mom. So I'm really excited because I do want to explore Lawrence's storyline and who he is and where he comes from and his background. And, it's already been mentioned that his parents were pacifists when he had the altercation with Tony some time ago. So I am excited about that. If you do get her, she is, of course, in here pretty good. I mean, we're talking about inspiring women. So, they usually have them packaged pretty good. Look at that. It looks like she's running. She's trying to run away from me. No, you run away from me. So I'm trying to snap her out. Like I said, I usually would like to have my scissors, and I left them. I'm sorry. I was trying to get ready for you guys, and I didn't remember to bring the scissors, but I'm almost done getting her out of the package. Yeah, it's not that bad, actually. It's really not. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, snap. Did y'all see that? Okay. I saw that. And I'm going to put her arm right back in. There we go! Yay! That was scary! That was very, very scary. Okay. Yeah, it always scares me when arms and stuff come, or like hands and stuff come out. I'm like, oh no. Especially after you just, received the doll. It's like, oh, don't let it be. Don't let it be broken. And don't say I was too aggressive. Okay. So here goes Billie Jean King. And of course, she has this old school racket and ball right here. I don't know how easy that's going to be to get out. Oh. Let's see. Wow. Okay, and just like I did when I opened up Naomi and her ball fell, I dropped this one. So here goes the ball. Bring it up to you. Here goes the old school rackets. Hello, thank you for joining. I'm actually going to put that on the side so I don't lose it. But let's look at Billie Jean King, who I'm totally excited about receiving. Thank you so much. She has separate shorts. My love sent this to me, my husband. So these shorts do come off. I'm so excited because they're not attached. What? This could go for a different outfit even. The top part is Velcroed at the front. It has these faux buttons that are in silver. I'll bring her to the front. So yeah, you have the faux buttons that are in silver. This opens. It could totally pair with like jeans or something like that. And I like the feel of this fabric. It's like a rayon, I think. I don't know. I should know these things because my mother was a seamstress. It's like, you should know this. Nonetheless, this particular doll has amazing muscle structure. I wish they would have did that with Naomi because Naomi plays tennis. So come on, y'all. You know that she has muscles as well. But this one right here, right here, right here, she has amazing muscle structure. It's beautiful. Like, what? Look at those calves. That's like the calves I had when I met my husband. I had amazing calves, right? Like, pop. Yeah, so her calves are popping, her arms are popping. I had arms like that. Things change. That's okay. So she's playing tennis all the time, so hers are going to be like structured and all formed and stuff. With mine, there are some lines on the hand. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can kind of like see like it looks like dents or indentation. And that's really from the wrapping. So, I mean, it happens. Stuff happens, right? She does have these really cute glasses. Yes, I love the glasses. But they're, okay, so I see. They're held in through thread. So I wasn't able to take off the one side, but she does have the glasses. The hair does have some thread right here. On both sides, there's brown thread. So, should you get her, you would have to, do something about the thread. This is the thread that I'm talking about. And I'm guessing it's to keep her hair down as well as probably to keep the glasses on her face. I really do like her. I do. I know she's gonna make a great character for being Lawrence's mother. I mean, now without her glasses, quite honestly, she looks, and I'm gonna have to actually cut that off, but she actually does look young enough to be like his friend or a sister. But with the glasses, makes her look way older, so we're going to be keeping the glasses on her more than likely so that we can, get that feel of her being his mom. But yeah, there is some hair gel that's in the hair to kind of keep it in place. So that's something that if you want to keep the hair gel in there, fine. But for me, I want a little bit more mobility with her hair, so I would probably be, hot water boiling the hair to get the gel out of the hair. So right now I'm just trying to get the thread out. That thread is annoying me. I know I said I was going to wait to get the scissors, but I want it out now. So that's the thread that was in there. Can you see it? That's the thread. And so that thread is there. But this is her without the thread. She does have a short frock. But I really do believe she's a wonderfully made doll. I really do like her. She has this band right here, sweatband on the wrist. She has these amazing blue shoes, right? Like I said, look at those calves. Pow! And her arms with the muscles. She's made to move. Yes. Sometimes they'll create like I would love to have a Misty Copeland doll. My daughter loves Misty Copeland, my oldest. And I'm a little frustrated though because the Misty Copeland that I've seen in photos is not made to move. I'm like, what ballerina would not be made to move? Why just articulate? Make her made to move. This right here, this right here, she is made to move. So you're going to be able to bend the knees. You know, if you have her in yoga, maybe she can do some yoga poses, or, you know, whatever the storyline may call for. Maybe she is a swimmer in your world. She would be able to do those moves as well. So whatever the case is, you do have a made to move doll. So that right there to me is amazing, because I'm always looking for made to move. I'm trying to see like how close her arm can go. I think that's about as close as the arm will allow. Each doll is different. Each doll is different, because Mini Sheeta, let me show you. And that's how you say it, Mini Sheeta, in case anybody was like, how do you say that name? There you go, Mini Sheeta. Now with her, I can like literally move her hand to her neck. It's just variations of articulation for each doll. She gives me really like full range of movement, and I didn't mean to violate her space like that. But with, you know, Gloria, and I thank you girls for posing my two right here, as the girls posed them today. I don't have that same flexibility. Like literally her arm only goes like right here. That's it. That is it. I'm like, what? Gloria! And I love me some Gloria. But I don't get the full range of movement like I do with Mini Sheeta. You know, I get all kinds of movement with her. And I love it. I do. I love it. Okay, we're about to go. Okay, about to go. She's ready to say bye. She's an introvert. She's an introvert like me. But with her, she's kind of in that middle range, because her arms don't actually reach up to the chest like Mini Sheeta. But she has more range of movement as far as like the, you know, how much she can move her arm compared to where Gloria is. Her hair looks soft. The back part is somewhat soft, but up here is hard. You know, you have the gel. So we'll hot water boil you. Why do we say hot water boil instead of just... It almost sounds like we're using the same name twice. But we'll put some hot water on that. You know, we'll boil the water and she'll be good. Now with her, if you do end up getting her, she does not have flexibility at the ankle. So some of our made to move dolls, and I'll use you, Mini Sheeta, as an example, they do have that flexibility at the ankle. She does not. So if you do end up getting the Billie Jean, there isn't going to be the knee flexibility, the ankle flexibility, but you do have, there is not the ankle flexibility, but you do have the knee flexibility. Okay? So overall, though, I really do like her. I know that she's going to be a great addition in the Sacred Prayer community, and she's going to do great as Lawrence's mother, because that's essentially what she's going to be doing. So I'm looking forward to her being Lawrence's mother. She was like, move out, girls. Let's get her in there in a way that's comfortable for everybody. Oh, look like they're already dialoguing. What? All right, so like I said, she does come with these cute little glasses as well. And more than likely, when I start photographing her, you will be seeing her with the glasses, okay? I dropped the ball, literally. So I'm having to pick it up. There we go. So you have the ball and the racket and her glasses. Such cute accessories. So if you don't have any questions, I'll give you guys about 60 seconds in case you have any questions or comments. And then we'll go ahead and close up. We had an amazing time, an hour and a half of just being able to talk freely about storyline content creation and character development, and being able to talk about Gloria's storyline. as well as with some of the other ones. Now, if you have a question such as when is your mini sheeta going to get involved, I really don't know if I'm going to involve my mini sheeta in the actual storyline as much as it is that I will have her there maybe for like parties and events so that it doesn't disrupt my current storyline. So I really haven't figured out how I'm going to have her and the mini husband get involved. Mini he, as I call him. And actually, that was just like a little like nudge at He-Man. Because I love He-Man. I do. I love She-Ra and He-Man. My uncle used to call me She-Ra when I was growing up. And there's like different home videos that my grandparents used to have, and we would watch them, and you would hear my Uncle David saying, She-Ra. So I love it. It's a warm, childhood memory. And so when I said mini he and mini she, it just, for me, brought back, really good memories. And I love He-Man. He-Man was an extraordinary character. You have the whole thing with He-Man and Superman, going on right there. As far as like Adam was more of your character that was more subtle and, human and flawed and insecure. And that yet He-Man was this powerful force that could just take on any foe and, set things right. He stood for righteousness and justice. So I love He-Man, love She-Ra. I used to, take different things around me and pretend that it was like a scepter or a sword and, hold it up high and pretend to be She-Ra. So I have really great memories of them. So when I put mini he and mini she, that was what that was in reference to. But if no one has any questions or comments, I will be closing up this live. I want to thank you guys again. I want to thank you for your love, your support, for your light, for your positive energy, for your, always being here whenever I have a live, always going back to rewatch it, telling other people about it. And even if you're watching, you didn't get a chance to watch it on live, but you're watching it right now, I thank you. I thank you so much. It means so much to me. It really, really does. So I pray that what we spoke about today is something that will help you as you continue to write your characters, as you continue to develop your storyline. And I'm going to put that challenge back out there before I close up. Put that challenge out there. There's thousands upon thousands of doll accounts. I can only reach out to so many. It's just humanly possible for me to only reach out to so many of them. If there's a doll account that has a storyline that really does resonate with you, that you just love, DM me. Direct message me. Send it to me. Let me know their name. And I can reach out to them or to see if we can have an online chat over here on IG Live. And we can talk about and learn about storyline content creation and the way that they storytell it. Let them know ahead of time, though, that I will be contacting them, because I don't want to contact them and just like scare the crap out of them as far as like, who is this person contacting me? So I do, I want to put that out there because there's more storylines that's out there and the story needs to be told. So like we always say, is according to what the inspirational and awesome Bob Ross has stated, anyone can write. He said anyone can paint. And I'm going to take that and say anyone can write. So I love your storylines. I love your pictures. I love your photos. I love your fashion. I love the things that you post randomly. And I hope that you continue to bring such joy to us all through your wonderful play therapy. So I'm going to close out, I should say. And I just want to thank you again for being my IG family and being so awesome. Next week, I will be here on Saturday at 3 p.m. I have someone that I'm going to be speaking to who I have actually spoken to before And we have some amazing conversations that we're going to be sharing with you. So I want you to join me next week on Saturday at 3 o'clock. I thank you guys. You have an awesome, amazing Saturday. Enjoy your Halloween. Be safe. Be safe. Have fun. Make sure you brush your teeth after you eat all that candy, though. Okay? All right, guys. Bye-bye.